My name is Al Breed, and I'm a reproduction cabinet maker. I work in Rollinsford, New Hampshire, and I've been doing this full-time since 1976. So I was doing restoration in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and someone asked me if I'd make them a set of chairs. So I said, sure, never having made a chair. And so I made a set of, I think, 4 or 5 Massachusetts Chippendale chairs, and that just got me started. I started making a lot of chairs. And then I pretty much just did reproduction cabinet work, and I've been doing that ever since, full time. The clock is, it's a great example of something that they took and sort of miniaturized. It's pretty much a half-sized tall clock. And so it's interesting in that the clock experts tell me that it's built just like a big tall clock case, except it's half the size. So it's great to build because it's a manageable project size-wise, and it shows the exact same construction techniques as the big one. This is the hood assembly for the clock. The clock is basically 3 boxes all put together, and I'll assemble the top box, which holds the works, and then the sort of central box, which is the waist of the clock, and then the bottom box, which is the part that supports the upper frame. So this top section is mortised in. The sides are mortised into the frame of the hood, and the hood will slide over around the works. Once the movement's set up in there, the hood slides over it and it encloses the works so that dust and stuff can't get in. It holds the door swings off it. And so when I build a clock, I really start with the hood. Yeah, right now I've got the 2 sides of the hood mortised into a frame that's mortised together, and now I'm making the 2 arches, the 2 pine arches. There's one in the front, one in the back, and those get connected by 2 pine rails, which I'm cutting out now. And then these will fit down over the sides, and the sides actually just get nailed to this thing. And then all the moldings get attached onto these arches that I'm assembling now. Okay. So it's like a little roof that I'm dropping on top of the sides, and then it gets nailed on. Right now I'm cutting the shoulder of a dovetail. This is part of the hood of the clock, one of the rails that gets dovetailed into the hood. And so I'm just cutting away the waist so that these 2 pieces will fit together. Dovetailing is actually pretty quick if you've done a lot of it. I don't look at it as an end. I look at it as a means to a good way of joining 2 pieces of wood together. And so after the mystique kind of goes away, you just learn how to do it fast. The reason I love doing this stuff is that you get to get inside the thought process of the people who built the original stuff. I've taken apart so much 17th and 18th century furniture that now I really think I understand their definition of perfection. These guys were working quickly. They were under the gun. They were working for money. They weren't sitting around, being philosophical about how wonderful it was to be a woodworker. People had to make everything by hand. And so they were really just workmen. And so my challenge when I try to imitate them is to use the same sort of frame of reference and the same standards that they use, but not to upgrade it too much, because it's not realistic. So this is hide glue, which is made from the hoofs and horns and hides of animals. And it's the same type of stuff they used back in the period. And what I'm going to do is take the glue, which is about the consistency of sort of thick maple syrup, and I'm going to put it on the ground, which is the pine base, and then I'm going to put it also on the veneer, on both sides of the veneer, so we're going to have a big gooey mess. One of the tricky parts of this clock is that the molding around the hood is curved. It's an arc. And so you have to put it on a lathe and spin a piece of wood and turn out essentially a ring of molding and then cut it. And that ring of molding becomes the arch on top of the door. And so that's how they would have done it in the 18th, early 19th centuries. They would do the same way. You glue a piece of mahogany to a backboard, turn it, and then peel it off, and you get your molding. Things really haven't changed that much. you can't idealize this stuff too much. You have to really spend some time in a cabinet maker shop to understand how they were going about their work. And that's what really interests me, I want to be them. I don't have buckles on my shoes, but I think the way they thought.